I was really inspired, and I always say this, by all of the photographs that are on the walls here. In all of the studios and different buildings here, you're passing by these old photographs that really told the history visually of Jacob's Pillow. And I didn't have enough time or spend much time reading about it, so the images got me interested in the history of it. And then at that time, after I was working here a few years doing sound, I started to realize and look around that there wasn't really anybody here taking pictures, and that there was kind of a void in that. And we would have occasional people float through and do a weekend or a week here or there, but no one was truly sort of examining the whole process and working with the artist on making pictures. And I was sort of burning out on doing sound and wanted to stay here because I loved it here. And I said, well, what can I do? And so I bought a camera, and I said, well, here we go.
And I definitely think it's a looking at the camera and shot. That's nice, because that pulls in like some cool symmetry.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be like a director, like a film director. You have to give some direction. And a lot of people, because of their talent and their history with performing, that's all they need is just a little bit of direction. And they'll take off, and you have to just keep up with them. But you have to get the momentum going, and it's best to come prepared with some ideas, and you may not use any of those ideas. I'm realizing what works best is you have to imagine the picture before you even go there. You have to pick something, an image in your mind, and work towards it. Much easier if you do that. If you go with no real plan of a look, even vaguely, it's very difficult, because once that person shows up, the pressure's on.
I start with location. To me, that's the first thing on my list is where am I going to do it? Because I do what I consider environmental portraiture, meaning that it's not just a headshot of somebody, it's like in some space somewhere, and I love that. I love the element of where it is. For example, with Taro Sheridan, because he came here with this Shaker-inspired piece, I realized that a perfect place to do that might be Hancock Shaker Village, which is only right down the road. I went out there in advance, and I spent 3 hours walking around, looking in every corner of the place, and chose a particular location that was suitable for what I was imagining. And then I even, in this case, I'm sort of evolving a little bit. I took some snapshots with my little digital camera and came home and studied them a little bit. And then I have a particular chair I sit in that seems to give me ideas. So that night I sat in my special chair, and it's kind of a meditation. And I'm really build the image in my head as much as I can. But I've actually learned you got to leave this nice space for whatever might happen.
I'm going to do a test here. Here we go.
I did a portrait of Merce Cunningham right down there on the by the fire pond, and I have so many people come to me after they see that picture, and they're like, I really love looking at that picture because he's such an icon, but that picture's very human, and he's really just sitting there like anybody would be, and you look like you could touch him.
I really enjoy working in the darkroom using traditional materials. It's such a long, complex process where each step is critical to achieving the look you want. I print everything by hand on fiber-based paper, and this lengthens the process even more. Some people ask me why I don't shoot digital, and for me it's mostly a love of the printing process and working in the darkroom. Though I may switch over someday, what's important to me now is to keep making portraits of people that show a different side or a more human side of the personality.